So with the Prime Minister Andrew Holness's recent remarks that the National Works Agency's role needs reassessment due to the crisis we face with roads now, that's his quote, the President of the Jamaica Institution of Engineers, Mr. Colin Porter, along with Dr. Wayne Reid, who's the past president and fellow of the Jamaica Institution of Engineers, are here to talk to us about that. Good morning to you both.
Good morning,
All
gentlemen.
the very best to you and your family for 2025.
Thank you, and
thank you.
Same to you.
Dr. Reid, as the past president, I'll start with you, sir. So what is the role of the NWA, period?
The NWA is responsible for the road network, the main road network in Jamaica, both its construction and its maintenance.
When you say main road network, what does that mean?
Quite separate from the parish, what's called parish council roads. The main roads, starting with road from Kingston to Montego Bay, which was called the A1 road, and the road from Spanish Town to Mandeville through to Savlamar, which is A2. The A3 road is from Kingston over to Port Maria and on to St. Anne's Bay. And A4 is the eastern route going through Morant Bay over to Port Antonio back into...
So like our little road here, Lyndhurst Road, Beach Road, they're not responsible for that?
They are not responsible in the main for it. Those are what we term parish council roads.
Okay.
From time to time, when the municipalities are doing work on those roads, which are major works, they then hand them over to the NWA. The NWA goes through, does the work, and hands it back to the parish councils to maintain them.
Okay. I'm not sure if you know, but are you aware of how much money is being allotted to the NWA now, and possibly how much do you think they need to be able to work effectively?
I don't know the precise thing, but it's not enough.
It's not enough.
And they need much more.
Mm-hmm.
If you can just put it as straight as that.
Right.
The last thing I heard was in the region of, this I'm talking about normal. I'm not talking about these special projects, which like the Spark project or something, which is a response to more like a social outcry than anything else. The amount that was budgeted a number of years ago, about 2 or 3 years ago, was $3 billion, when the request was more than double that. So even with a low request, it is underfinanced.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Sir Colin, Jamaica Institution of Engineers,
yes.
You have a role in all of this?
Our role as a professional organization is to highlight issues which impact the engineering profession, and for us to be advocates and to share our concerns, our voices in a constructive way, to come with what we consider recommendations that can help to enhance the output of engineering and support the development of Jamaica.
Forgive my ignorance, but what would an engineer have to do with a bad road or fixing a bad road?
Well, the science and practice of engineering is very critical to the construction of roads, as you can imagine, in particular for civil engineers. It is a public utility that requires to be at a particular standard so that average citizens can enjoy that. So the design of a roadway and other public infrastructure like bridges and drainages, etc., are very critical, and engineers play a vital role in ensuring that they are designed to required standards that can uphold and pretty much last for its planned life cycle.
Okay. I mean, the GIE says that the road network must be seen as one integrated network.
Correct.
Why is that?
We have reached a time now where, and you see with the development of other roads, including the highways, where transportation is very critical. And as Dr. Reid explained the difference in the class of roads, we move along from one network to the next. And so I think it's critical for efficiency that the approach to maintaining roads be integrated. You mentioned Spanish Town Road, for example. If we're moving ourselves or goods from Kingston to Mandeville, we go from Spanish Town Road and we integrate into the A1 road or one of the other roads seamlessly. So for the average person on the road, they're not thinking it's an A1 road or A2 or a parochial road. So we think for efficiency's sake, it should be looked as one network so that we can plan in a structured way and anticipate when maintenance is needed and carried out appropriately.
Yep. Dr. Wayne, natural happenings will damage things, period. And we've had huge amount of water on the roads. I know we will have some issues. I can accept that. But you don't see those issues on the highways. Obviously, it's either a different kind of material, because I would suggest because of the highways, now more cars on the highways than probably even, as Sir Colin says, parochial roads. So why?
Same country, same rain.
Yeah, so why?
One is properly maintained and the other one is not maintained.
So is the material used the same?
Not necessarily so. That's one of the problems also. By highways, I think you're referring to the toll roads.
Yeah.
Yes.
There is a much higher standard that is put there for a number of reasons. One, call it a privately financed road. And not only the contractors, but also the financiers want to make sure that their money is in the right place. For example, with Highway 2000, East-West, that is, its shares are on the market. And therefore, you have to make sure that your product stands up to wear and tear, so that there is constant maintenance, routine maintenance. We're not talking about any major thing. Routine maintenance. Mm-hmm. Cut the bush at the side of the road. You see a crack in the road, you fix it. You don't wait until it becomes a pothole and then it becomes a whole drain across the road.
Right.
You move on it immediately. That's a problem that we face in our main roads, and even worse, on our parochial roads. And the difference is that the main roads, in most instances, were built to a higher standard than the parochial roads. We live in a very hilly country, so that not only is it you're talking about slopes, landslides, and so forth, but also you run into the problems of the runoffs coming from rainfall. In most of our parochial roads, we do not have proper drainage systems. So it is a regular occurrence to have some damage to the road based on what one would think is the average rainfall. Yes. And that is not supposed to happen.
I mean, Doc, you mentioned financing and ensuring that, of course, the money and the resources are being used appropriately. But in terms of the procurement process for this, what are some of the recommendations then that you would share moving forward?
In the first instance, we need to have a proper maintenance system set up. And this is one of the things that the institution is pushing, to have an integrated network. And with that integrated network would be an integrated maintenance system. So you don't have one standard of maintenance for the highways, another standard of maintenance for the main roads, and a third standard for the parochial roads, which sometimes a standard that doesn't exist. Mm-hmm. Because, as Colin mentioned before, you as a motorist, you don't care whether you're driving on a main road, toll road, mm-hmm. parochial road, or the driveway into my yard. What I want is a good surface to move my vehicle on it.
Yes.
Is planning, or does planning have anything to do with all of this? When I say that, you hear you plan for 50 years down the road, right. You plan for 100 years. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I wonder if we plan for more than about 2 weeks. Does planning have anything to do with this?
Planning is very critical. Let me see if I can use a simple analogy. You have a motor vehicle. You buy a new motor vehicle, and it comes with a warranty, and it says you need to have servicing every how much 1,000 kilometers. Mm-hmm. Because the manufacturers of the car knows that on the normal use, certain things will wear, you'll need to change your oil, you need to change out certain parts. A roadway, in its function, will wear and tear. And so we need to know that at whatever interval or whatever signs we can predict when we expect some kind of failure or deterioration to start happening. And so we plan for that. And it ties into what Doc says, and you had asked about procurement. So procurement is a part of the planning process. So we know that when that occurrence happens, when the road needs to be repaired, then the resources are there, the methods of securing the resources are there so that we can carry out that maintenance.
Yeah, fantastic. It's interesting because I've always said it, and Dr. Wayne said that it's not necessarily the same material used on the highways. Wouldn't it make more sense to spend a little bit more money on the parochial roads and they will last longer? I don't know if that makes sense, as opposed to every couple of months you have to come fix it, and then 2 months later you come fix it again. I don't know if we have the money to do that. That's just my thought. Thank you so very much for coming. God bless you both.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great
Thank
to
you.
see you, sir.
Good.
Long time. Sit with us for a little while.
Oops.
Okay, man, no problem. President of the Jamaica Institution of Engineers, Mr. Colin Porter, and past president and fellow of the Jamaica Institution of Engineers, Dr. Wayne Reed. Your time.
Yes. Up next, celebrating Jamaican Maroons. Stay with us.